see these red diamonds are outliers ranging up to 400 years. And the question is, why do some humans live past 120 years, while some animals live much longer than nearby animals in the phylogenetic tree? And so we have contributed with Hager's group to the transcriptome and genome of naked bull rat, and opaque whales will be coming out very soon. So we were interested, and we're looking for keys, genes, and gene variants that we can apply in causality space. That we have some examples of rare protected gene variants that I think are of interest in general and of interest to disease of aging. For example, we have alleles of ADP, which, unlike most alleles of ADP, which are either neutral or cause you to get early Alzheimer's, these alleles delay Alzheimer's by a considerable amount. They're considered a protected gene variant. Everything on this list is protected. It's rare, it's fairly rare, and protected. It's not the most common allele. They're from David Ultro's group is found to cause lower risk of type 2 diabetes, lower risk of coronary, two genes involved coronary disease. And again, these are rare alleles in the population. I would like to sign up to get my genome changed to get these. And you've already seen myostatin and growth hormone, LSD5, causes extra small bones are almost unbreakable. This might be any osteoporosis. But all these things will be, there may be some that are specifically involved in the general mechanism of anti-aging, because we know that animals range from lifetime of days to hundreds of years. Now, I'm just going to briefly show you some icons here. This was started by Hanahan and Weinberg. It's kind of this idea of hallmarks of cancer and aging. Look at a half dozen. And then Phineas Rios was added, and Steve Ellis added another 5, having to do with stress and damage, which is kind of, as Mike said, is kind of a theme at this meeting. And cancer, but you can see a lot of those are reflected again in aging hallmarks. There's some cases where proliferation works at odds against senescence. So senescence is the opposite, and some of them where they seem to be have common causes of common regulatory mechanisms aligned in cigarettes. And finally, hallmarks are kind of analytic and telling you where we are, while seven sense are an effort to try to get at therapeutics. And what I want to talk about is slightly different from all those. It overlaps in interesting ways, but it's about reversal. And not necessarily reversal of damage, but reversal of the epigenetic changes. Not necessarily, I mean, there's no doubt that there is damage, and we need technologies for addressing it. And that can, but this is specific to epigenetic changes. And here are the rationale. Wakayama and colleagues published this lovely paper in 2013, where they showed that over 25 generations of mouse, you can take an adult nucleus, reprogram it back, send it back through the developmental pathway, and the longevity of the mouse essentially stays rock solid with normal variation through all these generations of nuclear transfer cloning. So this is telling you that you do not have premature aging or any other defects that everybody seems to amplify ever since biology that is occurring, and it is quite peaceful from mammalian cells that normally would have died in 2 years or so to go on and on in subsequent generations. This shouldn't surprise us. But there are other paradigms for which the aging clock is reset, and probably the one we've already introduced is this one where my 60-year-old cells were reprogrammed from fibroblasts to stem cells, and then into differentiated tissues like active fibroblasts or cardiac. And in that round trip, they did not return to a 60-year-old state, but to something much younger in general. Now, the fact that a few markers have changed shouldn't be compelling, this transdifferentiation or dedifferentiation. And we'd like to be able to do this with a minimum light touch. We'd like to do it in situ where the nuclei reside, the variety of economics and or even make themselves in vivo. We'd like to change the nucleus itself. So there are a variety of senescent markers that people in this room are familiar with. Senescence associated data with GAL, with the fusion gene expression. I already showed you fluorescent CT sequencing as a way of analyzing that in great detail. Telomere length, metabolism, and so on. Two nice articles on methylation and the senescence markers. We work closely with David St. Clair's lab. He's a professor in my department, and he recently published this paper himself on the decline in these key metabolites in AD plus and ADP rescued by an intermediate metabolic precursor to AD called nicotinamide. And you can see this kind of rescue in a variety of experimental paradigms, where as little as a 2 to 3-fold increase in NAD gives you very significant changes in the age-related decline. And many of you may know this pathway, but for the purpose of this talk, we're going to focus on TFAN, which we're taking in and in up here in the upper left, and it's TFAN through SIRT1 down into TFAN, which then impacts mitochondria, among the other things. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? So we have a new technology called CRISPR-Cas9, which we've just brought into about bacterial genomics now. They use in almost every successful organism, fungi, plants, animals. And in this particular case, CRISPR-Cas9 is usually used for making double-stranded breaks, both in nature and also in many experiments. In this case, we're disabling its ability to make cutting and just using it again and binding these, in which we can bind an activation domain. When we have this integrated into the cell lines, we're in particular we can activate exogenous regulatory mechanisms without actually changing the genes. So we want to regulate TFAN, we don't have to touch the TFAN gene directly with the DNA. We can activate this by making regulators to bind the TFAN promoter and upregulate TFAN to use an activator. We could use a repressor element. And then measure the kind of biomarkers I talked about earlier, biomarker stage, and see what happens. So we want to compare biological ways and alter that. So we're doing this with an associated virus so that we can do delivery into or specifically one entire body as would be needed for reversal of every cell in one body. So what we have here is a diagram of CRISPR. For those of you who have been hiding under a rock for the last year and a half and remember CRISPR, this is using the guide RNA. This is in red. The DNA is the extra and triple helix. And in this case, we've got these little yellow ball and blue ball means that we have used mutations to eliminate the ability to cut. So it doesn't cut anymore, it binds. And when it binds, it brings along with it an activation domain, GP64, that we now have. And that's one of the world's best activation domains. We now have in our lab even better ones, but we're just going to focus on this one for this purpose here. You can use that to activate any of these famous genes that you might want to activate in the same cosmos. So we are, in particular, trying to reverse this process of pseudohypoxia that comes from lower NAD or NAD to NADH ratios, and we're doing this by upregulating TFAM. This is a mitochondrial transcription factor, and it regulates mitochondrial copy number, among other things. It's shown in previous work that it prevents mitochondrial DNA decline. So these are the map of where we put the guide RNAs in this experiment. So these are CRISPR guide RNAs. CRISPR is testing many different for the cognition of the road that we're following. This is the CXT1 of the Cas9. It's not the original one that we published, but a newer one. And you can see an activation of the TFAM by up to 47-fold. These are different guys. You can see some guys are better than others. There's a reason to both computationally and empirically look for the best guide RNA and then use that. Therapeutic. So this one is the 47-fold one. That's the main one we'll focus on. And coming up, we'll use that's called T2. The T2 guide RNA is the one we'll be focusing on, but we'll use T4 as a control as well as no control. And no Cas9 control. So here you can see that not only is the TFAM gene product, the RNA, upregulated, but the ATP is as well. Very significantly above the blank of the Cas9 controls. Furthermore, the NAD plus is up, and the ratio of NAD plus to NADH is up quite significantly. And again, T2 is the name of the guide RNA that's guiding the native one genome that guides the Cas9, which is a generic activator for a particular target in the TFAM promoter. And so here's the NAD ratio, NAD to NADH ratio of about 7.5. We can look at this in the context of this in the context of other regulators or other metabolic regulators of this phenomenon. And again, we can see this huge impact of NAD and NADH ratio. So we also can measure the impact on mitochondrial mass, which again is dependent on the guide RNA, as you can see here. And is also has no effect on the reactive processes. So I just want to thank in particular here Margot Monroe and Bobby Bagua, with Dr. Lab that initiated this particular study. John Ock, who's been instrumental not only in running the lab, but computational biology and design of the CRISPR-Cas9 guide RNA system. This one is available on our website. And many people around the world are using it to design their guide RNAs and CRISPR analyses. So I'd like to more than enough time for questions, so hopefully that's it. Thank you. I have many people to be thankful and institutions as well. This is my conflict member slide. And we will be talking about bio-nanotech and comparing it to many other technologies. So from today and yesterday, one gets the impression that this is not really an audience. This is more like a congregation. And we're talking about the sorts of testable hypotheses. So if you'll open your hymnal to page 241, there's this chart of augmentation, past, and current, where we clearly are no longer natural species. We go much faster in many ways. We've extended our senses and our abilities. And in particular, our memory extends more than 50 minutes in some animals for an entire lifetime to thousands of years, and all of human knowledge available. But there are perils to the kind of exponential extrapolation that many of us here are addicted. This is two curves, actually. It's both the electronics industry that works from Moore's law and dotted lines. And the green curve is the molecular genomics curve. It was predicted that it would take about 6 decades going on a very aggressive Moore's law type of exponential to get to an affordable human genome for the $3 billion that I helped initiate in 1984. It could have flatlined when the Genome Project money disappeared. And the lesson that I'm taking is not so much that it's hard to predict the future. It's more about how we connect the dots, not just how we predict the dots, but how we actually bring these exponentials to occur. Unfortunately, this curve did not flatline, as you've seen in one of Ray's slides. It accelerated, and instead of 6 decades, this ride is 6 years. So I may be one of the few people on the planet that calls Ray Kurzweil a pessimist. And furthermore, I mean, there's a tendency for us to put great faith in electronics. Ray correctly mentioned molecular as the next wave for possibly replacing electronics. We need to get down to small and smaller features, and that's where molecules come in. And as part of this revolution, I'm going to show you 2 slides where these are not where the molecular technology is already 6 laws ahead of electronics. And as you can see from that previous slide, it's accelerating. It's going much faster than Moore's law, 10-fold per year, on occasion, many years in a row, rather than 1.5-fold. And here's the example where the density is higher than that product. The efficiency is 6 laws higher. And here we took a book, and encoded it into digital DNA, and this was about 6 laws better than any of the commercially available consumer storage devices, including flash memory and drives and so forth. And that's custody. And you can see me down there in the lower left, actually putting on gloves and doing experiments. That's the fun part of my work, is you can still do it. Now, this is a progress curve for energy efficiency. And you can see we are making progress at roughly the same rate we're making progress on density of large-scale integrated circuits. But still, there is more than a million-fold gap between what the best energy efficiency is for these circuits and the already high efficiency of molecular devices. You can probably nano robots if you look at these molecular devices like nanometers. And I'll show you a couple of examples of what we can do with these molecular machines like nanometers in just a moment. But keep this in mind that we're 6 laws at least ahead and it's going faster. And here's an example of a molecular computer. Exactly what this person looks like is not quite so relevant as what he did with the molecular computer inside of his brain. And it's not quite so important what he did in such a short period of time. Speed was not the issue. It was the qualitative nature of what he did. This was a huge number of completely paradigm-changing physics papers, were written 5 papers in a little over half a year. And the 2 bell curves there represent that clearly in some regards he is way on the edge of the bell curve in certain computational senses, human computation. What if he were in the middle of the bell curve, if there were a new bell curve made up of human beings, with molecular computers, if you will, where he was average, what would the extreme look like in that case? It's a very interesting thing for a point thought. And you can see the generated computer once it is nowhere near this particular individual. And it may be altogether different rather than merely being able to remember more. I mean, the fact Einstein did not have access to 200 million web pages, but he still did a pretty good job as a 26-year-old. When we look for exceptional individuals, it's not just about computing, our ability to think. It's also our ability to live a long time because it takes us a long time to accumulate these important memories. Here are some individuals, and you shouldn't take home from the slide that the way to live over 110 years is to smoke and drink. But the point is that you can, despite no matter what the environment is, no matter how many infectious agents they've been exposed to, and other risks and epidemiology, all humans reveal, they have potentially protective genetic and environmental components that we need to define these. We want to be able to share this information and possibly as therapeutics. Now, those supercentenarians, that are over 100, 110 years old, are being sequenced right as we speak. We don't yet know what rare protective alleles they may have, but we do have some examples of rare protective alleles that are already understood in some detail already. For example, myostatin and STN, double nulls, meaning knocking out both copies of what was people, your mother and father, results in people with very large lean muscle mass and very low probability of atherosclerosis. These are very rare, maybe a handful of people on the planet are known to have this, and they're healthy as far as I know in every other regard. LRP5, covers the invisible, is unbreakable. That's actually based on some rare individuals that have this heterozygous state where they are at extremely unbreakable thoughts. They are asymmetric gases out on density. PCSK9 is a mutation that's inspired the drug industry to develop a new type of anti-coronary artery disease because these individuals have such incredibly low levels of bad LDL cholesterol that some physiologists were surprised that they were alive. On the contrary, they had extremely low coronary artery disease. CCR5, we'll get his own slide, but double nulls of CCR5 and double nulls of NP2 are resistant to some very serious viruses, HIV and norovirus, for example. And ADP is certain versions of ADP which are risk for Alzheimer's, but the reason it's on the slide is that certain versions that make you can delay Alzheimer's by a factor of 10 to 15 years. So all of these are rare protective alleles are not the rare deleterious alleles we normally hear about in genetics. Now, we selectively breed organisms like dogs. It can be 1,000-fold difference in the weight of adult dogs. We also selectively bred ourselves, and so there's big parts of the world that we're malaria resistant, so we have persistence of the enzyme that allows us to drink milk well into our adulthood. These are selectively bred, somewhat natural. They're genetically engineered organisms as well, like these blowfish. And Timothy Brown is one of the first genetically engineered human beings. He got a stem cell transplant for the CCR5, which is a receptor for the AIDS virus. And back in 2000, he had the unfortunate situation of being both having leukemia and HIV. Treating his leukemia resulted in this treatment for AIDS, which is now generalized in that somewhat serendipitous situation to a molecular machine called ring-finger nuclease that will go in and target both copies of your CCR5 gene so that your T cells, cells of the HIV virus normally infect in your immune system, don't have the HIV receptor, and so they selectively survive this, and you become cured, not something that multi-drug resistance and vaccine trials in HIV have not proven quite as effective as we hope. But this is something where you literally remove the receptor. This is in phase 2 clinical trials. This tells us pretty far along, and it is curing AIDS patients. And it's interesting in that it not only is it more precise than any previous gene therapy, but it's aimed at an insertion augmentation. It's not curing some rare disease, rare deleterious thing like cystic fibrosis, sickle cell. It's aimed at all of us in a certain sense are susceptible to the AIDS virus and other viruses. The next step in this is CRISPR. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but listen, it's like, in the graduate plastics, remember the word CRISPR? Okay. It's another way of doing it. It's about 100 times easier and about 10 times more efficient than the method that's already in phase 2 clinical trials. So this is going to allow human genome engineering on an unprecedented scale. We can also make tissues. This is an example where in a mere 4 days we can take human skin-derived stem cells, which is actually from my skin, they're turned into embryonic like cells for adult-derived, and then they're turned into these bipolar-like neurons using go through the regular pathway. Now, I should mention that those stem cells are derived from the Personal Genome Project. This is the world's only open access source for genomes, environmental trait data, but not just data, interpretation software, and these cell lines. These cell lines are broadly distributed internationally. The NIST, National Institute of Technology, and the Food and Drug Administration have had a unique new collaboration to produce standards in this field called Genome in a Bottle. You can go to genomeinaBottle.org to learn more about this. And for this personal genome project was the only one that was properly consenting individuals for this kind of open project where you can share and make international standards. This is an example of the annual meeting we have where the Personal Genome Project volunteers, I know many of you in the audience are in this, they're invited to come, and unlike most medical studies where anonymity is promised but not necessarily delivered, here they can wear name tags and say, hi, I'm PGP. And it produces a much more participatory environment where people can share their information. And so this is Genome Environmental Trace. An example of a trait that is relevant to this conversation is functional magnetic resonance imaging. It's unfortunately a low resolution, but it is full brain and it is functional. It tells you it gives you information about what you're thinking in a way that you don't get from any other methods. And here's an example of one of the PGP volunteers in the previous slides with an MRI scan. Now you might worry that these are virtual slices, not actual slices. This is my brain, so thankfully they are virtual slices. These are cartoons of actual slices of the mouse brain, which is part of the Allen Brain Atlas project. In this project, unfortunately, they wanted to visualize all of the molecular identification of all the cells in the brain, but they can only do one at a time, so they have to do thousands of brains, each one getting one at a time, and then try to integrate that data. But each brain is a unique story.